devastating hurricanes, unprecedented heat waves, catastrophic flooding. An upward trend of extreme weather and climate events is leading to significant losses across the globe. In the fight against climate change, no one is a bystander. China has pledged to peak the nation's CO2 emissions before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. To shed light on the country's journey towards sustainable development, our reporters traveled across China to capture the stories of individuals, enterprises and public institutions who are striving to make a difference. As COP29, the UN Climate Change Conference, convenes from November the 11th to the 22nd in Azerbaijan, CGTN Radio brings you a special series, Greener China, A Journey to 2060. Join us on your favorite podcast platforms to witness Chinese people's awareness, actions and the challenges we face as the country journeys into a greener future.
Water is not enough.
It's all rocks, impossible to cultivate.
It costs more than raising a child.
Despite China's efforts to raise awareness and increased efforts to protect the environment and lower carbon levels, tough challenges lie ahead. Hello, welcome to Climate Watch. I'm Yang Yang. As the sun set on August 29, 2024, I traversed stretches of dry and sandy land in northwest China. After passing the remnants of ancient earthen walls that have stood for millennia, I'd arrived at an oasis, the city of Jinchang in Gansu province. Though it occupies only a fraction of the nation's expanse, Jinchang boasts the highest nickel production in China, also taking the driver's seat globally. Zhao Wenbing from the city's Ecology and Environment Bureau introduced this history.
Jinchang rose from the mines. Is what we call a classic resource town.
Beyond nickel, the northwestern regions teem with coal, oil, and natural gas, rich resources that have transformed this area into a vital energy base for the country. But the extraction of these resources over the years scarred the local ecosystem, and Jinchang is no exception.
Years of coal and non-metallic mineral development left scars in our ecology across many places.
Over the past decades, China has increasingly focused on addressing its environmental challenges resulting from extensive growth and climate change. Jinchang is part of the efforts.
Large-scale ecological restoration program has begun since 2017.
For the mining industry, turning waste into artificial hills with robust ecosystems is one of the main restoration efforts. I visited a restoration team from Jinchuan Group, a local mining company, and found myself on one of those lively hills made from mining waste. There, I met Tao Xianghui, senior engineer of the company. He said the terraced hills covered by vegetation are a key part of their work.
The main problem is water. Right now, we are mostly using wastewater that gets pumped up from underground. We use it for irrigation after sedimentation.
Water scarcity is not just a problem for Jinchang's ecological restoration efforts, it's a major hurdle for eco-recovery across all arid regions of China. According to the Chinese Ministry of Water Resources, nearly two-thirds of the cities nationwide are short of water to different extents. Data from the Chinese Academy of Engineering showed that in northwest China, water resources make up less than 6% of the country's total. Zhao attributed this mainly to the climate.
The big challenge is our dry climate and the lack of rain, which makes it a tough job to restore the degraded land.
The climate makes it unrealistic to expect the quick recovery of degraded land in northwestern regions of China without some help. Jinchuan Group has partnered with the Chinese Academy of Sciences to figure out a better solution.
Recently, we've been collaborating with the scientists on ecological restoration to choose the right plant and to find out how thick the soil needs to be, what the local conditions are like, and how much water will be needed in the future.
Tao guided me into their experimental field on top of a rocky hill. Here, the plants thrived. Approaching us was a woman working in the field. She is Hu Rui from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, the cultivator of this trial site.
Our project aims to effectively restore ecosystem in the rocky area.
However, in the northwestern regions, this could be a little more complicated.
Only recovering plants is not enough. We aim for the restoration and conservation of ecosystems.
Hu Rui said conservation here not only means saving water, but also preserving other resources the plants need, like soil.
Without soil, the plant roots can't anchor deep.
But on an abandoned heaps of mine tailings, there's little soil to be found. People must get soil from elsewhere to create an environment conducive to plant growth. In the northwest of China, shortage of fertile soil is what many ecological restorers face.
The soil environment of Jiuchuan is not good. It's mostly gravel and stones, and the soil layer that supports trees and grass is pretty thin.
The land conditions here are actually poor.
It's all rocks, impossible to cultivate.
The environmental challenges from both nature and human actions demand a significant investment in ecological restoration. Tao reveals that this restoration site has cost millions of dollars.
Our company has invested over $20 million in restoration projects since 2019.
Ecological restoration is far more costly than most of us can imagine. Paulson Institute research shows that in 2019, the world shelled out up to $143 billion for ecological protection. However, that was only about 15% of what's actually needed.
It costs more than raising a child, from digging the pit at the start, to changing the soil, watering, dealing with strong winds, and taking care of the plants after you've planted them. You really need to put in a lot of effort and money.
In recent years, we've invested $14 million already.
When my father was doing it, other family members didn't understand. They thought it's an investment of no return.
In addition to the heavy financial burden, ecological restoration does not yield immediate economic rewards. It struggles to attract private investment, leaving the country to bear the lion's share of the fiscal weight. Local official Zhao Wenbing lamented on the fiscal difficulty of their restoration program.
We primarily seek support from the central and provincial governments.
Research published in Current Biology in 2024 reviews a dramatic increase in China's funding for ecological restoration from 2010 to 2020, with government funds accounting for nearly 95% of the total. In 2021, the Chinese government introduced a guideline to enable private investors to reap benefits in exchange for their eco-restoration efforts. Beyond government efforts, social capital is seeking ways to combine ecological restoration with industrial innovation, yet finding profitable eco-friendly business is not easy. Yuan Hui, the founder of Yuanshi Vineyard, a winery in Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region in northwest China, reflected on his transformation from planting trees for windbreaks to cultivating grapes for wine.
Finding the right business has been one of the exploration. Our first decade, from 1996 to 2006, was marked by the absence of a profitable industry.
The exploration also includes innovative techniques. For instance, in mining site restoration, Yue Xuhui, head of the Meihuajin coal mine restoration team in Ningxia, talked about the potential to manage waste rock underground.
The technology for directly using mining waste to fill the space underground during mining is not yet available. It remains in the research phase.
Along with its own challenges, China's ecological restoration also bears the brunt of global climate change. In recent years, the nation has witnessed an alarming increase in extreme weather events, searing heat waves and torrential downpours alike. Such phenomena disrupt ecological restoration efforts, particularly during the critical maintenance phase.
Just the other day, we experienced a once-in-a-century rainfall that damaged what we had completed.
The rise in extreme weather events is a consequence of global warming, which is mainly due to the increase of carbon dioxide emissions. Tao said that while ecological restoration plays a vital role in carbon fixation, extreme weather transforms the process into one of constant repair.
We always have to be ready to make repairs. It's a long-term process.
Amid the ongoing ecological struggles, the country also has a huge population and development goals to juggle. Zhou Jingfeng, Secretary General of China Biodiversity Conservation and Green Development Foundation, points out that ecological restoration in China is a challenging journey of persistence and balance.
Our problem is that China is a fast-developing country with a large population. The need for development pushes us for industrial growth that relies heavily on traditional methods such as manufacturing and infrastructure building. This comes with a steep ecological cost. As a result, we face serious environmental challenges. We have a long way to go, and it requires everyone's attention and effort.
The good news is that there are still many people who are staying committed to our ecological restoration goals.
Since 1996, I have devoted myself to planting trees.
I have worked in this field for over a decade.
Progress takes time. We can't expect to see results in just a few months. It requires the hard work of many generations.
And that concludes our story on ecological restoration in our special series, Greener China, A Journey to 2060. While China's restoration programs continue to evolve, with a greater emphasis on ecosystem integrity, the country is also placing great importance on biodiversity protection. In the next episode, you can tag along with my colleagues on their journey to Yunnan province in southwest China, where they explore the nation's initiatives to improve biodiversity. Until then, goodbye.